check. All right. All right. Shalom. Good morning for everybody that's going to be watching and those that are going to be viewing this later. It's been 3 months, 3 whole months. Sorry, hold on. So, it's been 3 months since I did my last stream. A little bit over 3 months. And Dimple, since you are now in here, I can give you a wrench, my friend. So there you go. All right. I don't even know. I don't even know what to talk about right now. So, yeah. But anyway, there is a lot that has been going on that I have been missing out on talking about. But if any of you guys want to, I probably might say that for the end. I don't know how long this live is going to go. I know, Babel. I know. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. But sadly, everybody's been covering it like the, California bill with the, human composting and all that. That war in Russia. No, Ed, I'm not dropping the link until later. Sorry. And don't come on here asking your little weird questions either when you come on. Stay on topic. I don't want to hear about your teenage myth or any of that. I guess Ed left. But anyway, if you're not going to talk about the book of Enoch, Ed, or ETT, there's no need for you to come up right now because you don't even subscribe to the book of Enoch. So let me bring this up because I've been wanting to cover something in the book of Enoch. Just give me a second. I don't know why this got me signed out. Well, Dimples, when you got the United States sending Ukraine, well, let's just say this. Now, I want to be careful with what I say and how I say it. Excuse me. Let's just say this. Vladimir Zelensky, and we all should know about it. We all heard about it. Vladimir Zelensky is an actor. He's an actor. He had a TV show portraying a president that basically he was an act. How can I say this? He was an actor. He was an act. I'm gonna bring it up. Don't just give me a second. I wonder why my computer is running kind of slow. I hope I don't have any connection issues. Okay, so it's not signing me in. Why is it not signing me in? Okay, here we go. All right, so let me see. Continue. Let's see if I got this in here. Oh, there we go. I got it. Good. But anyway, first off, let me minimize this real quick. You have the United States giving Ukraine weapons. So there's one reason why. And then And then the world's a stage. Okay. The world is a stage. Okay. And these people are playing their part. And Vladimir Zelensky was an actor, or is an actor. If you guys don't recall, at the height of the war, while Russia is basically bombing Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky appears for a Grammy. Okay. So the guy was an actor. He did I don't know if it was a TV show or a movie or what, but he's an actor in that TV show or movie, and he becomes president. And you look at real life, he's really an actor, and he became a president. And yeah, so the world's a stage. That's why I don't buy most of the stuff they feed us. Now, that's not to say that the war in Russia is fake. I'm saying the purposes behind the war is planned. Okay, so this is basically, you go and look at what Pike said, and that's playing out right before our eyes. People don't understand that World War III has already started. Okay, it's already started. People think that World War III has to be nuclear bombs dropping out the sky, but that's not what they say World War III was going to be about. So when you when you understand what they planned out and how they said that this is going to take place, and I keep telling people, eyes to the Middle East, I say it for a reason, okay? Because that's where it's all going to start, and it's already started. Excuse me, we had a bus coming by, and it was kind of loud. I didn't want it in the background noise, but you'll hear a lot of cars because I'm sitting in the garage. So you'll hear cars periodically coming through here. You might hear some, let's say in about 30 minutes, you might hear some loud music and all that and, whatnot. Well, I've brought this up many times. Let me just bring some stuff up real quick, since this is a live discussion and there's a lot to cover, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to refresh people on in their memory. And let's just go to what they said. I believe let me see if I got it in the PDF first before I even do that. I should have it in a PDF file saved here. Gee, I don't have it. That's strange. But anyway, I'll bring that up, and then I'll bring up this part in the book of Enoch that I want to talk about. Hello, Dave, Arlene. Hello, Rita. It's been a while. So as I was saying before, we was, talking a little bit about that war in Ukraine and how Vladimir Zelensky is an actor, and he was in a TV show, and he was an actor who became president. And in real life, he's this actor that becomes president. And I was saying how the world's a stage, that, just because I say they're actors don't mean that the war is fake. The purposes behind the war is the problem. So give me a second. I got to pull this up because Babel was asking about Albert Pike. They say, let's see here. Let me bring this up. Let me see. So you'll see stuff like that's a PDF file. Hold on. You'll see stuff like let me see. You'll see stuff like this. Let's just do this real quick. just so you guys could get a little bit of an understanding of what I'm talking about here. Okay, let's share that. All right. So this is Washington, D.C. memorials. Okay, right here. I don't know why this is blue. Let me see if I can do something about that real quick. All right, so this right here is basically Albert Pike's statue, as you see here. This is description. Let's read the description here. 1809 to 1891. A Freemason soldier, author, philosopher, and a Confederate general in the Civil War. A high Masonic official and interpreter of Masonic rite. The statue depicts Pike with the goddess of Freemasonry. So they worship another god here. Okay. And then you got the coordinates and directions to get there from Google. You guys can see that this right here. Let me blow it up for you guys. Nice and big. This right here is Albert Pike. And this right here is their goddess. Okay. Now, let's go into this letter. Let's go into this letter here. They're going to say that it's fake. That's what they're going to say. Good question there. Good question there. Dimples. I don't know who that goddess is. Whoever it is probably who is that? That chick. I forget the name of the chick, the goddess, the so-called goddess that holds the scales, the balances. I forget her name. I think it's Lady Liberty. That's who it is. And the reason why I think it's Lady Liberty is because the Statue of Liberty, and I've been over the Statue of Liberty, so have others, where the Statue of Liberty is really Apollo dressed in, well, you know, I want to be careful with my words. I just got back on here. I'm not trying to get banned. Let me check my connection and make sure everything is just A-okay. All right, so I sound fine. Just want to make sure my connection is working. As you guys know, I have these connection issues. So this is what this article says. This is News 24. And then they say, trusted news first. Trusted. Anyway, this is their article they had in June 28, 2013. Okay, so they were talking about this in the news. And again, they're going to downplay it and say, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy theory. As you see right here, some conspiracy theories, you know, because that's the way they could explain stuff away. Excuse me, I got to. All right. Oh, Jamie, I know where to find it. I know exactly where to find it. I'm just bringing up this article so people can understand, one, that they have this stuff in the news and they'll try and spin it off like it's a conspiracy theory, and it's not, because when you look at the events that's playing out right now today, you know, it becomes apparently obvious, you know, that this is what's going on. And we could talk about that cartoon that they put out, that cartoon that depicts the little girl as the Antichrist, and her mom supposedly slept with Satan. You know, that cartoon that's been talked about by so many. But I tend not to try to, cover everything that everybody else covers because, well, I probably might do it though, because most people don't sub to those channels anyway. But back to this thing here. Let's read this, and I'm gonna see if they got the letter here. Yep, they got the letter all the way at the bottom. So we're gonna blow through this article real quick just to give everybody a little background history and some of this stuff, because if this was indeed a conspiracy theory, then that means that the news is promoting this so-called letter that does not exist, which is odd because they say that the letter doesn't exist. Anyway, says, let me take a U-turn and face the east and get into the occult. Some conspiracy theories can be true. Let's see. Let's read that line again because it sounds very nice that they say this. Some conspiracy theories can be true. So they're basically telling you basically all of the stuff they call a conspiracy theory are basically truth. They just use the word conspiracy theory because it turns most people off. But anyway, but while others cannot, for any of the theories to be considered to be true, much research has to be done, and the info given is either an individual reject or receive the message. Without any delays, let's start this trip. And this is going to be a trip indeed. Says here, just found the info with interest. Just want to share it with you, but you'll make up your mind and you can further do research on this issue. Well, you don't really need to do any more research. All you got to do is look to what's going on in, the world right now. So it says here, Albert Pike, born 1809 to 1891. He became a member of the synchronous success. Oh man, this word here. I'm just gonna say that he became a member of this movement, and also was chosen by Mazzini to head the Illuminati, a secret society operation in America. He was then moved to Charleston, South Carolina in 1852. He is said to have been made a brigadier general and placed in the charge of raising an Indian army during the time of war. So you tell, I don't know why they got this word like this. So it says, so you tell of short history of this guy. So what? I don't understand that word in there. But anyway, you see, Freemasonry is a deceived society into thinking that Lucifer is God. This is what they actually believe. I've shown many pictures of their depiction of the fake Jacob's ladder going up the stairs and all that nonsense, right? Anyway, so here it is. It says, you see, Freemasonry is a deceived society. And again, one more thing I'm gonna throw out there for those people that, kind of mock the flat earth. Most of your astronauts were Freemasons. Okay. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I might go into some of that as well. So Freemasonry is a deceived society into thinking that Lucifer is God and that he is the good one. That's what they teach, or they believe. The occult twists the truth of God and tells lies about the true and living God. Like, he's this, he's like, this evil person or whatever. So anyway, and this does not necessarily Look at how they got this worded. I'm not making this up. So look, when you hear me making errors in reading, this is how they wrote it. Says, and this does not necessarily mean, you mean necessarily, necessarily, but they put this does not necessarily mean. Whoever wrote this paper needs an extreme grammar check. This does not necessarily mean that Freemasons, and they put, Freemasons is supposed to be all together, are all bad, because not all Freemasons are told the truth. And I agree with that. They say that the lower level Masons are 100% deceived, and they don't actually know, what actually is being done until they get to the higher degrees, as it says right here. Okay, all Freemasons are all bad because not all Freemasons are told the truth. Only a few in the higher degrees know who they really worship: Lucifer, Satan. In the outside, Freemasonry is being viewed as a good society, which everybody thinks is a good society, looking so innocent, but really you don't want to be a part of it. Hear what they say. So this is a quote. This is a quote, and they're giving a source here. It says the Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. This is what they believe. And then they say, yes, Lucifer is God. False. And unfortunately, Adonai, and they put in quotations here, Jesus, is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. And notice that these are all duality concepts, what they come up with. This is why they got white against black, Republican versus Democrat, blue collar, white collar, man, woman. And they just, basically keep everyone divided as always, and keep everybody fighting amongst themselves so that the eyes will be off of them, basically. For the absolute can only exist as two gods. Well, my Bible says there's only one God. But again, this is a news article. We're just reading a news article. Darkness being necessary to light to serve as its foils, as the pedestal is necessary to the statue. Excuse me. And the brake to the locomotive, the doctrine of Satanism is a heresy. So they're telling you this is that dualism thing. They say Lucifer is God and Satanism is heresy. It's just foolishness, because they want people to think that Lucifer is the good guy and Satan's the bad guy, when they're both the same, but they split them up in two. And they say, well, Lucifer is going to basically, defeat Satan, when that's totally biblically inaccurate. But let's continue. And the true and pure philosophic religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai, aka Jesus. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. See, this is what they say, that God is evil and he's the God of darkness, when that's false. So it says this source, AC de la Riva, La Fiment, I don't know how to pronounce that. So this is a France, this is from Lady Queenborough, Occult Theocracy. This is our page and paragraph, or page 220 to 221. So let's continue with the article here. And I find it very fascinating that this article from this News 24 website is actually quoting the Bible. Let's see. It says here, see how the truth of God, the creator of heaven and earth, in the Bible is being twisted. Now to them, Lucifer is God, the exact thing which Satan has always desired to have from the beginning. Now he has deceived his devout followers. And then they quote Isaiah 14. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven and will exalt my throne above the stars or angels. I find that very fascinating that even this news article knows that stars and angels are intertwined. If you want to go to my last study on the book of Revelation, where I'm going into Revelation 12 and showing how the stars and the angels are intertwined. And you can also go, well, I'm gonna probably bring that up in this Enoch study. Hold on, let me check the chat. I don't want to seem like I don't want to seem like I'm ignoring the chat. Okay, Rita, I know you probably.
Here is your Storm Track 12 weather update.
I know you're probably gone already. Yes, on Disney. She must be talking about that cartoon I mentioned. Dimples. Let me just jump in this chat real quick so I could address some of this stuff. Because I'm on my phone as well. Let's see here. I see you said that. See you said that. And Dimples, yes, they do. Satan and Lucifer are the same person. You know, they just deceive people to thinking that they're different people and that Lucifer is the good guy, which is false because it's still the same person. But yeah, they do. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying now, Dimples. Scientology. Yeah, the church, as a matter of fact, Dimples, the Church of Scientology is in San Francisco, California. So yeah, I know about it. I think I've done a show talking about the Church of Scientology and their belief, but I probably might have to do that again. I think it was in that 52-hour live stream I did that I couldn't upload to YouTube. So I might have to go over that again. Okay, so back to this. It says, I will exalt my throne above the stars or angels of God. I will be like the Most High. And they quote Isaiah 14, 12, 13, and 14. This has set the stage for the great controversy in the universe. Now this battle continue here on earth. Excuse me, I'm about to drink me some coffee. All right. So it says, it's all about worship. Forces of evil versus forces of darkness. Well, that's too, how could evil, well, it doesn't make sense. Evil is darkness. So therefore evil cannot war against itself. Well, yeah, it can. I forgot about that when Christ said, if Satan be risen up against Satan, you know, he and is divided, he is coming to an end. And this is what they're doing. This is let me bring that verse up real quick so you guys could see what I'm talking about here. This is going to when the Pharisees accused Christ of being Beelzebub. Let me see. I believe this is it, right? Yeah, Mark 3. So it says right here. I'm just going to this so people could so people can understand what I'm talking about with this. When I say that this part right here, what they say right here, that now this battle continues here on earth. It's all about worship, forces of evil versus forces of darkness. This is kind of like what Christ was talking about when he said, and if Satan rise up against himself, which evil and darkness are the same, if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Verily I say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven unto the sons of men, and blasphemies wherewith soever they shall blaspheme. And then it goes on to say that if you blaspheme, let me get that part, because people will take that and be like, oh, well, I could blaspheme all day and be okay. But this is what it says. So let's finish it off with the last verse. But he that shall blaspheme against the Holy Ghost hath never forgiveness, which is what the Masons are doing, but is in danger of eternal damnation. So this is what they're doing right here. When they say God is the God of darkness and all that. Excuse me. This is why Paul says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, human beings, but against principalities, powers. And if you guys go to my about section, you can see that I have this Ephesians 6:12 through 18 as my about section. But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand, be able to withstand in the day, the evil day, having done all to stand. Ephesians 6:12 and 13. Of course, they don't finish it, but you guys can go look at my about section. Or if you have your Bible, you go and look at Ephesians 6. And when scriptures reveal the truth that Christ is the light of the world, these occultists twist truth into a lie that it is Lucifer or Satan. As you guys see right here, they put them side by side because they're the same person, who is the light. The devil is deceiving souls to destruction. Even in the occult, the cross is twisted and is being put upside down. Blasphemy. They know not that Lucifer is going to be destroyed in the end. I, God, will bring forth a fire from the midst of thee, Satan. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all men that behold thee. Ezekiel 28:18. Now, one thing I could respect this news article for is actually quoting the Bible. That's very rare that you'll see them quoting the Bible. Okay, so now let's get back into Albert Pike and to his letter, right? And why I say World War III is currently taking place, but few people can see that it is. And this is all according to their plan. And it goes back to why I said the world is a stage. Everything they do is planned out, and it's always a purpose behind it. So it says here, well, Albert Pike seems to have been heavy in the occult, and he wrote a book called Morals and Dogma. But the main point here is that there is a letter which is believed he wrote to Mazzini, dated August 15th, 1871. And some think the letter might be a hoax, but it is interesting that what was written in the letter came to pass. Oh, how did it come to pass? Because they planned it out. And people need to understand that this was well before World War I, II, and III. So if they're planning this out and they're creating names and scenarios, then that means that if it's planned, like when you build a house and you draw a blueprint, you don't say after you draw before, or you don't say after you draw the blueprint, hey, I'm gonna name this the wall and I'm gonna name this the door. No, you already have the blueprint of where everything's gonna go. The walls go here, the door goes there, and blah, and so on and so forth. But people will say, oh, well, how do you believe this letter is real? Well, because it was dated in August 15th, 1871, and everything that they put out has already happened. Why? Because it was their plan. And it says here, you see, in Freemasonry, there is what is said, ordo ab chaos, or meaning order out of chaos. They cause chaos upon the earth to create order. And this is what I've been telling people for a while. So what is this letter? What is this letter all about? The three world planned wars. Let's blow that up so everybody can see the three world planned wars. So you guys don't call me a conspiracy theorist. Call this news article now a conspiracy theorist, which were to happen before the desired new order or new world order to happen, one left. Okay, so let me check my all right, so connection still fine. So now on to the letter. This is the First World War, and if any of you guys know your history, you know that this already happened. Sorry, I'm finishing my coffee before it get cold. All right. So this is what it says here. It says, the First World War. This war was to be battled out so as to enable the Illuminati to overthrow the powers of the czars in Russia and to turn Russia into a strong fortress of atheistic communism, which happened. The differences stirred by the agent or agenter of the Illuminati between German and British empires were to be used to foment this world war, this First World War. Then when the war was ended, communism was to be built up and used to destroy other governments and to weaken religions. And if so, this happened, it was World War I. And then they say, oh, so the war really was really planned. So it says here, this is a quote directly from the letter here. This is the quote. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the powers of the czars in Russia, making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused between the agenter or agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the nations. So the Second World War. Second World War, we know this happened as well. You can go back in history and look at it. The Second World War, World War II. The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. The war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state in Israel in Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would then be restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. So here it says, so World War II was also planned. Maybe conspiracy theorists may be right on this. Now, on to World War III and how I said that World War III, according to them, is playing out right now before everyone's eyes, and not too many people even realize it. Tell me if all this here sounds familiar. The Third World War, it's said to be the last. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati, between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Sounds real familiar to me. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. Sounds like what we're going through right now. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then this is what they want to happen here. Then everywhere, the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits from that moment will be without compass or direction, anxious for an idea but not knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in public view, which is why they're creating those shows like that little child that's supposed to be the Antichrist, and her mom sleeps with Satan. And then they got other shows like Lucifer, who's supposed to be the crime-fighting good guy. Yeah. And then they put in those TV shows and in these even in the school systems, right? They got what is that that after school program where they got that satanic after school program. And then not only to mention that, you got this being paraded all throughout America, right? You got this thing here being paraded all throughout America. Here you go, right at the Capitol, right? You got this being paraded all throughout the country. You got two little kids here, like Childhood's End. That's another show they got out, right? Childhood's End, where they got Childhood's End is talking about a UFO invasion, a so-called alien invasion. And out of the mothership comes Cruellen, right? And guess who Cruellen is? Let's see who Cruellen is, right? Let's go to the images here, right? They depict an alien invasion, and this is Cruellen here. This is the alien, so-called alien, that walks out the mothership. And he just looks like Satan, doesn't he? And just like you've seen on the Baphomet statue, you got him with these two children looking up to him. But again, all this is just one big conspiracy theory. It's just one big, let's continue right here. So after they bring this out into the public view, it says this manifestation will result in the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. This is what is believed to be the letter of Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason, to Giuseppe Mazzini, And the letter is said to have been in the British Museum Library in London until 1977, before they probably removed it and hid it somewhere. Then it goes on to say, let's see. Okay, this is almost in. We'll finish this up with these last two paragraphs. And I'm very, I have to commend this news website, News 24, because they're actually quoting the Bible. The word of God is sure. It clearly shows that Christ is the winner at the end. By the way, Christ already won at Calvary. It will just be a confirmation at the end, and that time will be brought by miracles done by demons, as it says in Revelation. That's what they're going to be quoting here in Revelation 16. Those who are not rooted in Christ will be deceived by them, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty, talking about Revelation 16, verse 14. At the time of the end, true Christians, the fundamentals, those who stand on the Bible and Bible alone, would be persecuted and others killed. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Quote Matthew 24:9. What a trying time to the faithful at that time. But Christ says, fear not them which kill the body, and but are not able to kill the soul or the spirit. Because I brought this up in a discussion before. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both body and soul in hell. Matthew 10:28. He will resurrect his followers to eternal life. So we to follow Christ in so it's, they say, so we to follow Christ in truth. It should be, so we are to follow Christ in truth. May he help us live and be rooted in him by faith, that we may be able to stand against the deceptions of Satan. And I got to credit this news article. I got to credit them because they actually quoted the Bible. I'm very surprised. That's the first time I ever seen a newspaper quote the Bible. It's a very surprising thing. But anyway, World War III is basically happening right before our eyes. Religions, Melvin, LOL, not the nations. No, it's going to Babel. I was reading the Bible verse. They quote in the Bible. Okay, I know it's going to be able to. They're going to use it to weaken the religions. Melvin, let me see. Let me see what you're saying, Babel. Melvin has credited this news article like 10 times. LOL. You should leave them a nice comment, Melvin. No, they don't get all that. I'm just saying, if they want to see me credit them over 10 times, they could just come to my channel and sub, But anyway, I'm just joking. So I just wanted to bring that out because I find that war in Russia, as one of those things. And, how they saying North Korea is now angry because of the joint operations that the U.S. and South Korea are doing. And now they're even threatening that they have their fireworks, let's say fireworks, ready to go. So yeah. But like that article said, all the other nations are going to be forced to fight to complete moral, economical, spiritual, and all that other stuff, exhaustion. And after that, after the dust settles, and I think that this is also a plan for them to bring about, the Antichrist, right? Because many believe that Satan or Lucifer will indwell a man and he will become the Antichrist. and he will lead everybody according to Revelation 19. Actually, Revelation 16, that verse that they quoted, Revelation 16, and then you go to Revelation 19, and it talks about the beast and the kings of the earth, and the beast and the false prophet with their armies making war with Christ when he returns, or the Messiah, or whatever you want to call him, Yehoshua, Jesus. It really doesn't matter. He's the same person. Now, if you're calling him a false name, then it matters. Excuse me. All right, so all right. I'm just looking in the chat. Now, on to what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to give a quick rundown of that because this is, live discussion. And I said that it's been 3 months and it's a whole lot of stuff I want to cover, but it's just not going to get done. It's just not going to get done in one day. I don't know how long I'm going to be. I don't know how much I'm going to be going live because I got some stuff to take care of. But I'm going to try and go live as much as I can. Try and get back to covering some of this stuff. But I just kind of want to go into Book of Enoch real quick, because that is also something that I got on here. Let me just go through here, find this PDF real quick. Give me a second. Sorry for whatever noise you guys are hearing in the background with these motorcycles and cars. If you guys can hear that, I probably might hear it in the playback, but let's see here. Allow. All right. Book of Enoch. Now let's see here. I think it was some stuff that I've covered in the other studies. There is some stuff that I want to cover. Let me see what I want to cover first. All right. I guess I think I already did this though, but I want to kind of probably talk about it a little bit more. I know I want to talk about the revolution of the lights. They're called lights, right? Because this also gives further insight into God's creation. Hello, Lynn. So kind of want to go through that. But again, I said I was going to be, well, let's just do this. We're going to start with the blessings of Enoch and see how that ties in with the Bible. And again, why Jude quoted Enoch verbatim, word for word, just so everybody could get a clear understanding, right? Because a lot of people make it seem like Enoch wasn't in the Old Testament before the New Testament was written. And a lot of people have this notion that Jude or Enoch or somebody who wrote Enoch copied Jude and what they said. But that's not the case. Let's see. Let's go to Genesis chapter 5 and read that real quick. Genesis chapter 5 gives us a complete breakdown of the generations of Adam. Right. So let me share this screen here. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen before we get into the book of Enoch. Here. So it says here, we're going to We're going to read from 1 until, actually, I want to make this clear as well, because I made this statement many, many times, but I don't think people actually go and look at it. Okay, in the book of Genesis, chapter 4, I want you guys to pay close attention to why I keep telling people there are 2 Enochs in the Bible. There's 2 of them. Okay, one built a city, one walked with God. Okay, so don't get the 2 confused. So this right here is also going to tell you some stuff. So we're going to start with Genesis 4, and we're going to read some of this, and then we're going to go into Genesis 5, and you'll see clearly there's 2 different Enochs. Unless Jared and Cain made it and had the same Enoch, then you guys most people will never understand. Some people already know this, but just for those that don't know, there's 2 Enochs in the Bible. So it says, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect to Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth or angry, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth or angry? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted. Let me read that again. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desires, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. He killed his own brother. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So you'll hear people using this. It's used in many movies, and it's also used on this channel on YouTube. I'll show you guys that in a minute. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Excuse me. Then he says, now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thine hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. This is when he gives him, he puts the seal on him or whatever. And he basically says, if anybody kills Cain, that they'll suffer 7-fold vengeance. So it says here, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him 7-fold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife. Here we go. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Now, is this the same Enoch that we're going to read about in Genesis chapter 5? No, it's not. So let's read this. This is proving the case that there are two Enochs in the Bible. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad. And Irad begot Mehujael. And Mehujael begot Methusael. And Methusael begot Lamech. So you see these names here. And Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. So let's see here. Let's go into Genesis chapter 5 here. See if this is the same person, because there are many people, just like you have people named these common names that was back then. So this is the book of the generations of Adam. The day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day that they were created. This Adam here is basically Adom in the Hebrew. Let me just see here. Show you guys this real quick, because again, just so it can make sense why he called them Adam, right? So Genesis chapter 5, let's go into the Hebrew concordance here. Genesis chapter 5, right here. You see, he says this book is the generations of Adam. You see the word H121, singular, Adam, the first man to walk the earth, the first man created by God. Then you have this Adam, H120. This is talking about, let's just show you here, Adam. Adam, right?
Strong's H121. Adam.
So it's used in the Bible 9 times. Adam equals red, first man, the city in Jordan Valley. So it says here, Adam, the name of the first man, also a place in Palestine. So there you have that Adam. You go back, you go to H120. Adam, right?
Strong's H120. Adam.
Man, mankind, man, human being, man, mankind. Much more frequently intended sense in Old Testament. Then it says Adam, first man, city in Jordan Valley. So you got Adam there, and you got the other Adam. This Adam refers to them being called mankind or human beings. But the first time he mentions Adam, he's talking about the first man he created. So very important to go back and look at the words that were being used, so you can understand what he's really talking about. Because somebody could take this verse and say, see, look, male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam. And they'll say, well, see, Eve was called Adam too, but this is talking about humans right here. Humans, mankind. Male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. So it says here, and Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness and after his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. So this is talking about after Cain slew Abel, right? The reason why Abel wasn't mentioned is because Abel was killed. So when you go down here, all the way down, talks about Adam. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God, she said she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So after Enos was born, that's when men began to call upon the name of the Lord. And you'll see the same genealogy here, right? So you got this again, you got in verse 17, this Enoch that comes from Cain. This Enoch here comes from the line of Seth. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. So when people say, there were other humans on the earth before Adam and Eve, that's false, because Adam had all these children after he was created. This is when humanity, or the human population, starts to grow. Okay. So it says here, Seth, in the days of Adam after he begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. Didn't we just read that here? Seth had a son called Enos here. So Seth lived after he begot Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. So this ain't Cain, as we read here. The Canaan and Cain aren't the same people. A lot of people will say that they are, but they're not. Enos lived after he begat Canaan 815 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And this is the name we're going to see. I believe we're going to see this same name being brought up in the book of Enoch. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. Now pay attention, because you got one Enoch that's born from the line of Cain, and you got this Enoch that's future generations down that is begotten from Jared. Two different Enochs in the Bible. And Jared lived 162 years, 162, and he begat Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. So this Enoch didn't build a city. This one walked with God. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah, 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Right? So then you got Methuselah living, and he had a son named Lamech. And Lamech had Noah. And you'll see that in the book of Enoch. Now, getting on to the book of Enoch, after clearing that up, right? Clearing that debacle up of, people saying that, that's the same Enoch. And you could see that there's two different fathers, two different time periods down the line. So anybody that's saying that that's the same Enoch would have to show proof. As a matter of fact, let me do something real quick. I'm going to show you guys something in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew. Right? Let's go there real quick. Because it's even going to say it in the Hebrew. Right? It's more than one Enoch. We'll go to Genesis 4. Go to that Enoch. Let's look at the Hebrew for this Enoch. Genesis 4:7. Ooh, let me share my screen. Genesis 4:17. Right. Where we see the first Enoch mentioned. We're going to go there. Enoch. Hebrew word 2585. Let me bring up another tab real quick and go to the same thing. Let's go here. We're going to see if this is the same word in Genesis 5. Okay. Genesis 5. It is the same word, right? Enoch or Enoch. Now, here you go. Enoch equals dedicated. Eldest son of Cain, son of Jared, and father of Methuselah, whom God took home to heaven without dying. The city which Cain built and named after his son, Enoch. So there you have it right there. There's the eldest son of Cain named Enoch and the son of Jared named Enoch. Okay. So you have two different Enochs in the Bible. You got the one that walked with God and the one that was named, a city was named after him. Right. This is the antediluvian patriarch, Enoch. Right. You also get the Numbers, Chronicles, Exodus 6:14. I don't know why they put that there. That has nothing to do with Enoch. First Chronicles 3:5-3. Yeah, it says Enoch here, but it doesn't say it here in Exodus. So Genesis 49 again. So just bringing that up, just to show how the Hebrew will bear that out. Now let's go here. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I said I was gonna read the blessings of Enoch real quick. Okay, this is the same Enoch that walked with God. Let me see. You gotta excuse me. I gotta scroll through all these translator notes. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. So this is how I this is how I show. Hello, Tracy. This is how, and Pam and Diane, hello. This is how I think, people should prove the book of Enoch actually belongs with the scripture, or if it shouldn't. Because everybody say it should have to line up with the word of God for it to be inspired, so-called. So let's see here. It says here, these are the words of the blessings of Enoch, according to which he blessed the chosen and righteous who must be present on the day of distress. Talk about the tribulation, which is appointed for the removal of all the wicked and impious. And Enoch began his story and said, there was a righteous man whose eyes were opened by the Lord, and he saw a holy vision in the heavens. I believe this is talking about John here. And which the angel showed to me. So he's making a clear distinction that there was a man whose eyes was open. He saw holy visions in the heavens, which I believe he's referring to John before John was even, born. And then he says the angel showed him the same thing. And I heard everything from them and understood what I saw, but not for this generation, but for a distant generation that will come. Concerning the chosen, I spoke, and I uttered a parable concerning them. The holy and great one will come out of his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread from there upon Mount Sinai. That's talking about when Moses was going up to Mount Sinai and receiving the law. And he will appear with his hosts and will appear with the strength of his power from heaven. This is talk about a different time when he comes, I guess when he comes to the earth in the final days. And all will be afraid, and the watchers will shake, and great fear and trembling will seize them up to the ends of the earth. And we get this to the ends of the earth all throughout the Bible. It literally says that the Bible has ends to it. Okay, so if you're on a ball, there's no ends to the ball. You go around it and you come back to the same spot. You don't never reach an end, but that's a different story. I don't want to get into that right now. Might get into that when we go into the revolution of lights. So people can see that the sun actually moves, not the earth, according to, the Bible and the book of Enoch. So says, let's see. And all will be afraid, and that watchers will shake in great fear. Okay, I read that. So this is one thing that we hear in the Bible that is going to happen. And the high mountains will be shaken, and the high hills will be laid low and will melt like wax in a flame. And the earth will sink, and everything that is on the earth will be destroyed. And there will be judgment upon all, and upon all the righteous. But for the righteous, he will make peace, and he will keep safe the chosen, and mercy shall be upon them. And they will all belong to God, and will prosper and be blessed. And the light of God will shine on them. Talking about in Revelation. This is clearly talking about Revelation. Then you get this quote where Jude quoted, and behold, he comes with 10,000 holy ones to execute judgment upon them and to destroy the impious and to contend with all flesh concerning everything that the sinners and the impious have done and wrought against him. Then you get into God's laws, right? We know God created the heavens and the earth. Right. This is what Enoch is saying here. Right. Contemplate all the events in the sky, how the lights do not change their course. He says the lights do not change their course. Genesis chapter 1, 14 to 18, where it says God made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. We all know the creation account there. So it says how each rises and sets in order, each at its proper time, and they do not transgress their law. They don't break it, or they don't diverge from it. Consider the earth and understand from the work that is done upon it from the beginning to the end, that no work of God changes as it becomes manifest. Consider the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is full of water and clouds and dew and rain rest upon it. Contemplate and see all the trees, how all the trees appear withered and all their leaves are stripped, with the exception of 14 trees, which are not stripped, but remain with the old leaves until the new come after 2 or 3 years. Now, I find this very fascinating here. Let me stop sharing this, and I'm going to bring up something real quick. Because it says that all the trees wither and their leaves are stripped except for the exception of 14 trees. 14 trees that do not leave. Oh, let me share this here. So in the book of Enoch, it says that there's 14 trees that remain with their leaves in the wintertime. That's exactly what it says. See what it says right here? Trees that do not lose their leaves. There's 14 of them. Here it is. What are the 14 trees that do not lose their foliage in the winter? Answers.com. Science and biology. As you see, subjects, science and biology. 14 trees, answered 17 hours ago. Fir, pine, spruce, cedar, cypress, hemlock, olive, citrus, magnolia, eucalyptus, gum, holly, yew, and redwood. 14 trees. And they even catalog 14 trees that don't lose their foliage in the winter. And that clearly lines up with what Enoch here is talking about. Unless somebody, just when they wrote Enoch, they just put, oh, there's 14 trees that don't shed their leaves. Right here. 3:1. Contemplate and see how all the trees appear withered and all their leaves are stripped, with the exception of 14 trees which are not stripped, which remain with the old leaves until the new come after 2 or 3 years. And again, contemplate the days of summer, how at its beginning the sun is above it. You seek shelter and shade because of the heat of the sun, and the earth burns with scorching heat, and you cannot tread upon the earth or upon a rock because of its heat. Contemplate how the trees are covered with green leaves and bear fruit, Genesis chapter 1, and understand in respect of everything and perceive how he who lives forever made all these things for you, and how his works are before him in each succeeding year, and all his works serve him and do not change, but as God has decreed, so everything is done. And consider how the seas and rivers together complete their tasks, but you have not persevered in nor observed the law of the Lord. Because see, all his creation have a law to it. You know how they say it's Newton's law and all that stuff? No, it's God's law. But you have transgressed and spoken proud and hard words with your unclean mouth against his majesty. You hard of heart, you will not have peace. This is Enoch, basically, giving this whole spiel here about all this stuff. Because of this, you will curse your days, and the years of your life you will destroy, and the eternal curse will increase, and you will not have received mercy. In those days, you will transform your name into an eternal curse to all the righteous, and they will curse you sinners forever. For the chosen, there will be light, joy and peace, kind of like the fruits of the Spirit here. It's mentioned in Galatians 5. And they will inherit the earth. Remember what Christ said, the meek shall inherit the earth. But for you, the impious, there will be a curse. When wisdom is given to the chosen, they will all live and will not again do wrong. Talk about repentance, either through forgetfulness or through pride. But those who possess wisdom will be humble. And they will not again do wrong, and they will not be judged in all the days of their life, and they will not die of wrath or anger, but they will complete the number of the days of their life, and their life will grow in peace, and the years of their joy will increase in gladness and eternal peace all the days of their life. So Enoch's basically alluding to most of the stuff that we see anyway in the Bible, just like here. When it talks about the watchers, talks about Genesis 6. We understand that Genesis 6 talks about the same account. Enoch talks about the angels that basically came down, right? Where we don't see it in the Bible. And if you were to go and you were to look up, let me just do that real quick. Let's see here. Let me blow this up because I'm going to look at these names here. Let me stop sharing this. I'm not going to be on here long, though. I just wanted to bring some of this stuff out because I did tell somebody I was going to cover the book of Enoch, but I'm not going to cover all the book of Enoch. I mean, I am going to cover all of it, but not just in one day. Let's see here. I want to kind of type up some of these names and see what the Hebrew says about these names. Let me see here. So let me see. They actually have, look at this. They actually have this angel named and all that stuff, right? Let's look at the wiki. Let's see what wiki says. I find it very fascinating that they got these angels cataloged here. Let's see here. Here you go. Semyaza, one of them angels that's mentioned in the book of Enoch, right? And you also have the scroll right here. Let's read what this scroll, what they say about this scroll. Hebrew, okay, so this is, they basically, and this is written in Hebrew, right? Imperial, Aramaic, Greek, Arabic, Semaras, also Shemhazia, Hazi, whatever, Azu, Uzzah, or Oza is a fallen angel of apocryphal Abrahamic traditions and whatever that word is, who ranked in the heavenly hierarchy as the leader of the watchers. And it quotes the book of Enoch and all that stuff. They talk about fiction and video games. They put them in video games. Anyway, let's see what it says here. So they're talking about it in the book of Enoch, and I just kind of wanted to see what it actually says here. I have never read the Book of the Giants. To be honest with you guys, I've never seen that a part of Scripture, but it could be something that alludes to some kind of truth. But even in Islam, right, they call him Uzzah or Manat, right? So it's basically, they say Semyaza. Let's read this. Let's read this because most people play video games, right? Check this out. In video games, Semyaza, this fallen angel, Semyaza, in popular culture, Semyaza appears in the role-playing video game Final Fantasy 12. And they show you this is supposed to be Semyaza here on the cover as the Esper or whatever, Semyaza or whatever, how they spell it here, I can't pronounce that, is a female horse-like being who controls the souls of the dead. Excuse me. Created in opposition to this word here, Igurim, I believe that's how you say it, the martyr. Though she once served the gods, little g, as a guardian, she plays a role similar to that of Semyaza in revealing to the rebellious Esper Ultima, the weakness of the gods with Lil G before attacking the people. So this is this is basically, they put it in a video game giving you an account of the book of Enoch. Here you go, another one. Semyaza and 5 other Grigori may be summoned from imprisonment to fight for the player in Dominions 3, The Awakening, and Dominions 4, Thrones of Ascension. So that's another video game they put this fallen angel in. Here you go. Semyaza appears as one of the 7 fallen angels in El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Another video game. I find it very fascinating that they're putting these fallen angel entities in video games. This just all goes back to that whole thing they were talking about, what I was talking about earlier, how they they basically putting this stuff in video games, TV, and all this stuff, right? Semyaza appears in Sing, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce that, Devil Summoner Soul Attacker. This is another video game. As a demon, the player's party has to face. He also appears in many other games in the whatever series, sometimes as a boss or antagonist, sometimes as a random demon the player runs into and can summon. In Soul Hackers, he is working for another fallen angel, Azazel. Oh, wait a minute. He's working for Azazel? Let me stop sharing this screen real quick. They put this in a video game. Let me bring up the book of Enoch again. Let me see. I heard this name before. I've heard this name before, Azazel. Let's see here. And these are the names of their leaders. Semyaza, who was their leader. Urkiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Baraquiel, Asiel, Armoros, Ananiel, Zaquiel, Samsiel, Sadiel, Turiel, Umiel, and Azarel. These are the names of the leaders. These are the leaders of the 200 angels and of all the others with them. They took wives, and this is talking about Genesis chapter 6 here, how they took wives and they taught them charms and spells and showed them the cutting of roots and trees, and they became pregnant and bore large giants. And people say that, it's impossible for back then for them to have, a mile high giant let me just see. When you got, let me stop sharing that. When you got pictures of people uncovering giant bones all over the world that look like this. Let me bring this up real quick. Because people say it's impossible that these giants could be over a mile, over a mile tall. Look at this. Let's do a size comparison here. Let's see here. Let's find a picture. Look at this. Let me share this screen. Look at this. Take a look at this. You got things like this big, right? You got giants that were this big. Now, if you do a size comparison here to a regular human being, this guy is about the same size as this giant's head. Let's see if we can find more pictures here. See if we can find some more. Let's take a look through these pictures here. Look at this. Some range in height, some doesn't. Look at the size of this guy compared to the size of this femur bone, right? Let's see. Let's just keep scrolling. Pretty sure we can find some interesting things. Right? Look at the size comparison to this guy and this giant head here. But people say, oh, it's impossible that these things could have been, over a mile tall, right? It's impossible. They couldn't possibly have grown this tall. Look at this. So again, these things are being found all over the world. Look at this. Here's a chart. And they give you the timeline. 6 feet, present day man. 15 feet, southeast Turkey, late 1500s. 8 feet, 6 inches. Maximus Thrax, Caesar of Rome. 235 to 238 AD. Now, this is really true about Goliath. Goliath was really 10 feet 6 inches tall. Goliath, 1 Samuel 17:4, 1010 BC. King Og was actually 12 feet. 12 feet tall, they say. King of Bashan, Deuteronomy 3:11, 1400 BC. Then it's going down the line. 19 feet 6 inches, 1577 AD, under the overturned. I don't want to click on that. Go back. All right. Over the underturned oak tree in the canton of Lacrine. I can't read that. It's kind of blurry. 23 feet, 1456 AD, France, beside the river of Valais. 25 feet, 6 inches. 1613 AD, France, near the castle of Charmont, or some I don't know, nearly a complete skeleton. So that's found in France. 36 feet, 650 BC to 640 AD. It says, I can't read that, uncovered to this size, an earthquake in Samaria, uncovered one more. Okay, so I can't read that. It's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can read it on my share screen. Oh, Carthaginians uncovered to this size. Samarian Bosphorus uncovered one more. So there you have it. Okay, so they're digging this stuff up and cataloging these things. But, people say it's impossible. All right, let's go back here to Enoch real quick. I'm going to try and keep this under 2 hours. I'm at 139 right now. I'll just say 140. Try and keep this at 2 hours. I don't want to, stream this whole thing out. Maybe one day I'll do a open panel and let a couple of people on. It's storming here, so my service is not very good. I'm trying to listen, but I get behind. It's all right, Lynn. You can always catch the replay. I didn't even know I clicked that. Let's see here. So here you go. Remember, oops. Did I take that screen down? I mean, did I take that, what's his name, down? I did. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me go back. Open up, you stupid fool. So let's see here. So again, just going through these angel names, right? And again, in that video game, let me do this real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I got so much stuff going on right now. All right. So in that video game, they mention Azazel, right? Azazel, right? In a video game, Azazel taught men to make swords and daggers and shields and breastplates, and showed them the things after these and the art of making them, bracelets and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes and the beautifying of the eyelids and the most precious stones and all kinds of colored dyes. And the world was changed. And there was great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. Amazarach taught all those who cast spells and cut roots. Armoros taught Armoros the release of spells, and Baraquiel astrologers, and Kokabiel portents, and Tamiel taught astrology, and Asuradel taught the path of the moon. And at the destruction of men, they cried out, and their voices reached to heaven. And then you got the 4 archangels mentioned here. Then Michael, Gabriel, Suriel, and Uriel, right? 4 archangels right there. All right, now going back to this, I'm going to kind of wrap this up a little bit. I'm going to get off that real quick. I just wanted to show that how they're putting these fallen angels or demons in these games. And they're basically, mind controlling many that play these games, and they don't even consider, like, wait a minute, why are they putting all these so-called fallen angels in video games, right? So this says here, right here in Soul Hackers, he is working for another fallen angel, Azazel, who also appears in many of the games in the series. And it says Simbatha, a mistranslation of Simmitha or Simyaza, appears in the 1991 game XZR2, released in the West as Exile for the NEC Turbo Duel, translated by the now defunct Working Designs. Basically, this is Simyaza, is the main antagonist that the hero Sadler must face. In the Sega Genesis port of this game, when localized to the US, the name was dropped in favor for the epithet Holy Emperor. According to the Japanese story context in the game, Simyaza possessed Hiram Abiff, right? Hiram Abiff in the 6th millennia BC during the destruction of Solomon's temple, but was murdered afterwards. In the game setting, the 11th century CE, Simyaza again takes over the body of a man. This time, I can't pronounce this dude name, Hugh D. Payne, based on his historical founder and first Grand Master of the Knights Templar. And they even mentioned Knights Templar here. And they put it in fiction, right? They put it in, let's see here. I believe these are movies. Let me see. No, this is a book. Film. They also put it in film, right? They put it all over the place. So, there you have it. They put these fallen angels or fallen entities all over the video games and stuff. Well, I just want to do this quick live, talk about this stuff. And which is that, Dimples? Oh, DC. Yeah, because most of those Marvel characters are basically based off those same fallen entities, right? But, most people don't even realize it, because first, most people don't even read the book of Enoch. They think it's fiction, all because, some scholars that decided to say, hey, we're going to deem what should be in the Bible and what shouldn't. We're going to tell people what they should read and what they shouldn't read. We're going to tell people exactly what we believe is the word of God, based off what doctrines we line up with. Right. And that's why I changed my picture to truth is still truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. So it's also my thumbnail at the top, in the top right-hand corner. So, either way it goes, you can tell people the truth all day long. It's up to them if they're going to believe the truth, right? You could show them, you could, show proof. And oh, by the way, I forgot, that is one thing I said I was going to do before I leave. Because this whole show started off with talking about how the world's a stage and they're all actors, and how we were talking about the Masons planning everything out and what they believe. Well, what the higher degrees believe. The lower degrees are deceived. And like I said before, here you have it. This is where everybody gets their information about something that, this is where everybody gets their information about something that I don't really believe in no more. And for good reason. Right. For good reason. October 8th, 2020. As you see here, this is Northern Masonic Jurisdiction, Scottish Rite website. This is a Masonic website. And here's your men that went to the moon. They're Masons. Here you go. Let's see what they say here. Masons are men on a quest to become part of something bigger than themselves, constantly seeking deeper insight into the mysteries of the universe. This curiosity and pursuit of knowledge is a driving force that binds brethren together. It is also why Freemasonry has seen its fair share of pioneering men within its ranks throughout the centuries. Among the intellectual titans that have graced lodge rooms across the globe, ain't no globe, only few have taken their path to the heights, kind of like what Lucifer wants to do. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Literally, as those brothers who have ventured among the stars, read on to learn more about the great men and Freemasons who have journeyed to the stars in an effort to further mankind's understanding of the universe. John Glenn Jr., 33rd degree Freemason. Let me take this comment off the screen. Hello, Arctic Timberwolf. Illustrious Glenn, John Glenn, 33rd degree, was an inspiration to many, both inside the fraternity and beyond. He was an American hero, serving in both World War II, which we covered, that planned war, and the Korean War, and flying 149 missions, ultimately becoming a decorated astronaut and United States Senator. His accomplishments among the stars were many, as he was the first American to orbit the Earth aboard Friendship 7 on February 20th, 1962, on the Mercury Atlas 6 mission. For this feat, President John F. Kennedy presented him with the NASA Distinguished Service Medal. Glenn had a long and accomplished journey in Freemasonry, beginning in 1964, when he petitioned Concord Lodge number 688 in his hometown of New Concord, Ohio. He didn't officially join the fraternity until August 1978, where he was made a Mason at sight by the Grand Master of Ohio, Jerry C. Raster. He earned his Scottish Rite degrees in the Valley of Cincinnati in April 11, 1997. The very next year, he was named Sovereign Grand Inspector General and became a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason. Again, Buzz Lightyear. Good old Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond. Buzz Aldrin. You know, the guy that said they never been to the moon? First Mason on the moon and member of the Apollo 11 expedition. This is who everyone's getting their belief in outer space from. We already said how these lower level Masons, they were lower level when they were doing this stuff. But once they got to the 33rd degree, all these guys know it's not real. They know it's not. But why would they keep feeding you the lie? Because they know who they are serving. All these guys. Look at this. This is that zero gravity plane. And look what he has here. He's in a spacesuit on the zero gravity plane. And you can look up zero gravity planes and see how they could basically make it seem like they're in weightlessness. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that for you guys. Let's check that out real quick. Let's check that out real quick. Let's type that up. Zero gravity planes. Before I go. I know most people don't really care to hear about this stuff, but hey, that's why I got this thumbnail here on my screen. Truth is still truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it. So let's bring this up. And before I do, let's get my nice little banner. Boom. This channel is not monetized, and I'm not making any revenue from the content used. By law, in Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, I can use partial content for educational or other purposes. So there you have it. Zero gravity planes, just in case YouTube wants to act like, I'm not following any law, which they don't follow, because they believe in infringing on everyone's First Amendment right to free speech. That's what YouTube does. And that's what they believe in doing the best, infringing on your freedom of speech, the freedom to say what you feel. I don't know why this isn't coming up. Let me see. I'm trying to do something real quick. Hold on. Zero gravity plane. Let's see here. Zero gravity plane. Let's see here. This is a nice one. Let's get this one. This is short, sweet, to the point. All right. Share. Here we go. This is on the airplane.
It's our 21 awards from the American Heart Association.
See ya.
Weightlessness. Why imagine it when you can actually experience it? Just hop on a zero gravity plane and you'll be weightless
Weightlessness. Oh.
in no time, all without ever having to leave Earth. Planes that allow you to experience weightlessness.
All without ever having to leave Earth. Boy, they sure do know how to tell us the truth. It's just fascinating.
Aren't that different from typical passenger aircraft? Most zero-G flights occur on Airbuses. So how does a zero-gravity flight work? Planes fly along a radical flight pattern resembling a parabola. 3 pilots simultaneously control the plane during parabolic flight, each in charge of a specific axis. One pilot controls the pitch of the plane, or the nose up and nose down angle. This is the most difficult of the 3 axes to control. A second pilot controls the roll movement, keeping the wings horizontal and stable. The third
Keeping the wings horizontal and stable.
pilot handles the engine speed and monitors flight parameters. After reaching a safe altitude, one of the pilots starts a sharp climb, lifting the nose of the plane up by 50 degrees. This is the pull-up, the upward approach toward the peak of the parabola. The plane peaks at 426 miles per hour during this maneuver, subjecting everyone on board to a gravitational force 1.8 times greater than what's on the ground for about 20 seconds. Once the pull-up is complete, the plane can finally enter the phase of weightlessness. The pilots gradually reduce the plane's engine speed as it approaches the peak of the parabola, and then it free falls. At this point, there's a brief 22-second window where the opposing forces of gravity and the falling plane immediately cancel each other out. Thus, there's weightlessness.
Wow, NASA makes some really cool. They must make some real cool stuff when they do that. Right. Hang from their wires and everything, right?
These 22 seconds start and end at an altitude of roughly 25,000 feet, peaking at nearly 28,000 feet in the air. The plane then enters the pull-out phase of its flight path. It accelerates downward, subjecting passengers once again to 1.8 G before stabilizing to a more conventional horizontal path. So what does this feel like? The sudden shift can cause blood to rapidly flow to your head, which could be very nauseating for some. This is why zero-gravity planes are also known as the vomit comet. Despite the initial discomfort, people are able to do all sorts of things during zero-gravity flight. people board these flights as part of their astronaut training.
Oh. Some parties board these flights as part of their astronaut training. Well, let's hear more what they got to say.
Others use the unique conditions of zero-gravity flight to perform scientific experiments. Creatively inclined people have even shot music videos. Were you scared? Were you cold? Were you kind? And films on these flights. The possibilities are endless, and the best part is anyone could book themselves a flight on a zero-gravity plane and do whatever they want.
Yeah, like fake space. Do whatever you want. Oh, boy. Hey, Arctic Timberwolf, I have a lot of family in the military. A lot. So I know what you're talking about. Excuse me real quick. All right. So there you have it. Zero gravity planes. Astronauts use it for their space flights or whatever, wherever they're going up there, right? Just fascinates, just amazes me. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I just figured that I'd do this quick little show since it's been over 3 months, a little bit over 3 months since I've done a live feed on my channel. And I'll try and do some more stuff. You know, because once again, truth matters. Let me change back to my original. So everybody have a nice day. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try and go live sometime soon. I just got some stuff to take care of. It's nice seeing you again too, Rita. It's just been a really hard time real quick. So I guess till next time. And as always, you know, read your Bible. And know that that's the only one truth that we have down here. Nothing man can say can ever alter that.